the nation. Clerics also admonished the Christian faithful to remain steadfast and pray for global peace. President Muhammadu Buhari has rejoiced with Christians on the occasion of this year's Easter celebration. The president recalled that a year ago, celebrations were subdued in most major cities as the world battled the effects of the deadly coronavirus pandemic. In a statement by the presidential spokesperson, Femi Adesina, the president cautioned congregation to worship with strict observance of COVID-19 protocols. The president deeply acknowledged and appreciated the sacrifices of doctors, nurses, and other frontline health workers who have made the difference in saving lives and ensuring the reduction of the spread of the virus. The statement adds that as Christians celebrate Easter, President Buhari urged all to see the season as an opportunity to renew their hope and faith, as well as show love and appreciation to one another by being not despair, no matter the challenges of the period. The president equally commended the law enforcement and military personnel who continue to confront evil-minded individuals through the darkest of nights to keep Nigerians safe. Away from that, Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun has inaugurated the Ogun State Security Network Agency, codenamed Amotekun Corps, with a charge on operatives to work and operate within the ambit of the law. Governor's Office correspondent Tunde Olaniro reports that the governor stressed that Amotekun is not in competition with security agencies in the state and warned that Ogun State would not be a safe haven to criminals.
Network, codenamed Operation Amotekun, is a security outfit responsible for curbing insecurity in the region. Ogun State has now inaugurated Amotekun Corps. Operatives of the Amotekun security outfits, according to the governor of Ogun State, Prince Abiodun, have been carefully chosen and trained, as well as providing the outfit with take-off security vehicles, motorcycles, and communication devices.
The provision of equipment and equipment of personnel will be a continuous exercise. As they say, to whom so much is given, so much is expected. I expect nothing less than a superlative performance of duties from our operatives. They must diligently add value to strengthen the security of lives and property in Ogun State. In doing this, the operatives of the Amotekun are also expected to carry out their duties within the ambit of the provisions of the law established in this outfit. Let me be clear. Your role is primarily to prevent crime. You are to do this through systematic intelligence gathering and collaboration with other law enforcement agencies, especially the security network agencies of other states.
He urged the people of Ogun State to support and cooperate with operatives of the Amotekun Corps to strengthen the security machinery in Ogun State.
I call on other security agencies to also cooperate and collaborate with the Amotekun to form a synergy of purpose towards ensuring security of lives and property in the ideal state. This was particularly emphasized by Professor Wole Soyinka. There is no competition, but there should be collaboration. Just as we are doing all this towards strengthening security of lives and property,
the governor stressed that social interventions have been put in place as a way of fighting crime, which are part of its job security, poverty alleviation, and food security programs for the people.
Let me at this juncture reiterate and say unequivocally that no part of Ogun State will be a safe haven for criminals and criminality in whatever form or guise. Let those who think they can come into Ogun State with criminal tendencies have a quick rethink. Ogun State will never be home for criminals, whether big or small. We will smoke them out, arrest them, and hand them over to the swift hand of justice. This is a very strong note of warning to anybody, landlords or tenants. Any property found to be serving as hideout to criminals will be taken over by government, but we shall also demolish such properties. Whoever is found to be harboring kidnappers, ritualists, robbers, or criminals will be arrested and hand over for prosecution.
The governor also commissioned vehicles and other gadgets for the Amotekun in the state. The motto of Amotekun Corps is zero tolerance to crime. Tunde Olaniro, Ogi TV News.
Meanwhile, Amotekun operatives have been urged to set example of being civil in the discharge of their duties and respect the fundamental human rights of citizens. This was the crux of the goodwill messages from dignitaries at the inauguration of the Amotekun Corps held at the Arcade Ground, Okimoson, Abeokuta. Governor's Office correspondent Tunde Olaniro reports that Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka was awarded as the Super Marshal of Amotekun by the Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun. His reports.
I present this cap to Prof, being the Super Marshal of Amotekun in Ogun State, and also the swag stake that Prof referred to, which Prof says is very different and unusual, and this defines the Amotekun symbol. Thank you very much, Prof.
Professor Wole Soyinka, after receiving the award, implored the security agencies to see Amotekun as a complementary outfit.
You've been created to assist them, to protect them, to be part of them, to live inside them, to gather information, to say to the police, the military, we cannot handle this, but we have seen this. Would you like to take a look and assist? You're not here because you now have a uniform to start behaving like some other security agencies who shall be nameless, the way they've been dealing. You're here to set an example, to say that you are a civic unit.
Other dignitaries at the event admonished residents of the state to cooperate with and support the Amotekun Corps.
And I want to assure His Excellency and the good people of Ogun State that we all work closely together in the area of sharing of information, as well as in the joint operations where necessary to ensure that we eliminate crime and criminality from the state. And to the officers, we must know that the rights of the citizens must be fully protected. And I want to implore the police, all the security agencies around, to please cooperate with them. This is community policing at its best, because our people will feel more comfortable to relate with the men and women here. And I want to implore you to please, because they can only arrest and hand over to you. Do the right things. We've seen a few challenges in the States.
And I ask all of us, please let's cooperate with them so that their work will be made easier. And we expect them to complement existing security outfits that we have in the state. Please share information, share intelligence, work together for the greatness of Ogun State.
Commander of the Amotekun Corps, David Akinremi, promised to discharge its duty without fear or favor.
Be whosoever, whether indigenous, whether non-indigenous, provided they are resident in the state, we want to assure them that their lives and properties will be well protected. And that is the whole essence of our being. And we are committed to that, the state governor and the government is committed to that. And we're going to walk and walk and walk.
The objective of the Amotekun Corps is to ensure that they work together with other security agencies to ensure residents, investors, and visitors sleep with their two eyes closed. Tunde Olaniro, Ogi TV News.
The federal government has extended the deadline for the people to link their national identification number to their subscribers' identity model by 1 month. This was announced on Friday in a statement jointly signed by the Director of Public Affairs of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Dr. Ikechukwu Adinde, and the Head of Corporate Communications at the National Identity Management Commission, Mr. Kayode Adegoke, and approval to extend the period of the NIN SIM linkage to May the 6th was given at the meeting of the Ministerial Task Force on NIN SIM data linkage held on Thursday in Abuja. The statement said the request for the extension was presented to President Muhammadu Buhari, which he endorsed. The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Dr. Issa Pantame, says Nigerians without a national identification number risk 14 years imprisonment. He said this at the weekly presidential media briefing organized by the Presidential Communication Media Team in Abuja. While encouraging Nigerians to enroll for NIN, the minister warned that those yet to obtain the NIN risk 7 to 14 years imprisonment as stipulated by the Nigerian Constitution. He explained that while obtaining a SIM card may be optional, NIN is mandatory, noting that a lot of transactions in the country are not supposed to be carried out without NIN. 24 hours after the Nigerian Air Force Alpha jet went off the radar, intelligence reports gathered as it that the jet might have crashed. The cause of the crash as well as the whereabouts of the two pilots remain unknown. In a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, NAV, Air Commodore Edward Gapwet named the two pilots as Flight Lieutenant John and Flight Lieutenant Ipabo Chapele. Extensive search and rescue efforts are still ongoing by NAV surveillance aircraft as well as NAV Special Forces and Nigerian armed troops on ground. The statement noted that NAV is not ruling out anything regarding the incident, but however remain hopeful that the crew would soon be found and rescued. In foreign saying, at least 41 people have died and up to 200 remain trapped after a train carrying nearly 500 people crashed and then derailed in a tunnel in Taiwan. Dozens more have been injured, with rescuers trying to access several badly damaged carriages. The 8-carriage train reportedly hit a construction vehicle that had slipped onto the track at the tunnel's mouth. The train from the capital Taipei to Tantong was carrying people traveling for a long weekend annual holiday. Some people at the back of the train were able to walk away unscratched, but 100 were rescued from the first 4 carriages and about 200 more remain trapped. In sports, Super Eagles coach Gennett Raw has expressed fears over the possibility of including home-based players in a steamer ahead of the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. The 67-year-old Franco-German named Eyimba goalkeeper John Noble in his 24-man squad and invited Adekunle Adeleke and Anyaho Iwala as replacement for Kenneth Omeru and Umar Sadiq after they were not released by their clubs due to COVID-19 concerns. The Eagles are done in Group C of the qualifiers against Liberia, Central African Republic and Cape Verde. These 2 matches are expected to be played between June the 1st and the 15th. And to end the news at noon, the very first Easter taught us this: that life never ends and love never dies. Don't forget to watch us live on these platforms: Apple, Roku, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch us live on our website, www.ogtv.com.ng/live, via email, which is info@ogtv.com.ng. And that's our news.